Well, welcome to Technology and Education. Today I'm Richard Smith,
And I'm Caroline Crawford.
and today under discussion is the flipped classroom. This has become a very, very big topic here in
Oh,
education.
people are hot and bothered about it.
Yes, and the problem is what exactly is a flipped classroom and what difference does it make? Don't give me that look. I don't think you have anything good to say about the flipped classroom.
I find it so intriguing that people are so overwhelmed with the brilliance of a flipped classroom because all it is the students are doing homework and coming to class ready to work with that information on moving from knowledge-based to higher order thinking skills in Bloom's cognitive taxonomy or Anderson and Krathwohl's revised cognitive taxonomy.
I knew you'd get those guys in there. Yeah, okay, so let me see if I can.
Honestly,
if I
this
can
is
frame,
homework. Do
if
your
I,
homework.
If I can frame this.
Which is interesting because when I was
flipped-
teaching, it was all, why do you give these children so much homework to do?
Right.
So now it's the exact opposite.
Let me see if I can put some context to this thing. Ideally, or at least as I've heard it described and seen it implemented, the flipped classroom relies on video to convey to the students at night the direct instruction that would normally be provided by a teacher during classes in the day.
Look at you going all highbrow.
in a high school classroom. So, for instance,
Instead of doing the lecture during class, you're making the student listen to the lecture on their own time.
Exactly.
As homework and coming in.
Exactly. So, let's say if you were teaching history or mathematics, the key concepts that you would be talking about in class normally, what you would do is as a teacher, you would record those the night before or the semester before in specific order, and the student would watch that video the night before the class, gain the information.
And or read whatever information is required the night before.
Right, gain that information from the video and the associated readings, come into class the next day prepared for discussion or problem-solving exercises or group work of various sorts that the teacher would then be free to implement because the teacher would no longer have to lecture. So,
which is interesting because even during a lecture experience, the students would engage with the instructor by asking questions and clarification that's necessary. And in this type of description, the learner is passive. Absolutely, totally passive in this event. Just watch the video. Figure out what I'm talking about.
well, I think
Get the information what I'm telling you.
I think there's
without any opportunity to question until the next day.
There is
when the ideas are lost.
A certain amount of stereotype, and that it would be that all high school teachers, or the majority of them, all they do is lecture for the 45 or 50 minutes.
I would love to find someone that actually did that. I never did that. I was exhausted by the end of the day. It wasn't because of lecturing.
I know. It's very difficult to lecture for 5 or 6 periods a day, and by its nature, that would tend to be a bit boring on the part of the student. So I think
instructor's part too.
Part of that is a bit of a stereotype, but let's say it is true, and the teacher believes that there is 45 minutes of lecture that's of value. That would mean that the teacher would have to produce a video each night that would last approximately 45 minutes with all the information in it that teacher would normally provide in the class. Now, to do that video would mean that the teacher would have to take probably about an hour to an hour and a half to successfully do a video without any mistakes that look semi-professional. So it adds the amount of teacher time.
Not to mention the ramp-up time to understand how to successfully develop a video, which is significant.
Yes. So this process of creating the videos adds to teacher time. Now,
significantly adds to teacher
right.
time. It used to take me hours to develop just a little simple slideshow with audio underlay video. It used to take me hours.
Yes, and so what the response is that, well, if you
it's only one time, and if you really care about the students.
Yes, if you really care. But
what that really means is if you want to work for significantly lower pay and give up your life and any life expectations in order to do a job, that's great. Well, who wants to give up their life? This is a job. Yes, it's a profession, but it's still a job, and it's not a 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week gig.
Here's another consideration. If this indeed, if you could indeed produce the videos each night a video each night for your class, or the semester before or summer vacation you complete all 100 videos. That would be for one preparation, for one class. But suppose you're a typical teacher and you have two preparations.
Or three.
Or three. Preparation
I
means
had
it's a
5 at
class.
one time.
You have 3. And so would you be expected to flip all 3 of your classes? Now that means 2 to 3 hours of work preparing those videos each night. And that doesn't count your preparation for the lessons for the next day, the lesson plans, and that doesn't count checking any student's work that you may
Well,
may have
and you're also
assigned.
making an assumption that what is offered during this flip homework type situation is all knowledge based. And if it's all knowledge based information, why is it tasked upon the instructor to develop these products? If the learners are necessitated to have all of the same knowledge based information, why is this not a product that has been developed and purchased by the school district to ensure all the students have the exact same knowledge base?
You know, and you're correct. And let's say it does work the way the people who advocate flipping classes say it works. You're absolutely right, because the next step would be then that a company,
Instead of putting it on
a
the
production
teachers,
company would then produce these videos. And
assuming that it's all the same knowledge base and not
Well,
forgetting the
let's-
assistive and adaptive
Right,
necessities.
but let's just
because
say-
whenever you are
George, let's
wait,
just-
but whenever you are offering a flipped classroom environment, if you're offering a video, you have to have the transcripts, you have to
Okay,
have
but
alternative sources
right,
available
aside
for people with
from
special
all,
needs.
Aside from all that, what this would,
That's a significant amount of time.
yeah, but what this would also do is it would take out a significant amount of the instruction that is provided by the teacher, which is a responsibility of the teacher,
Very good
and
point.
place it in the hands of a production studio, an education production studio. Everybody then would be receiving the same instruction from
the same knowledge base
the
instruction.
same knowledge base. So the idea of
Enhancements within the classroom are a viable consideration.
then you would
But we're changing the expectation of what is a classroom teacher.
well, and there are many people who say this, that would be a good idea. On the other hand, it introduces a whole bunch of other problems. You could for instance, yes, you could change the idea of what it means to be a classroom teacher, and I could say if everybody's receiving basic information from
Knowledge-based information.
yes, from the videos that are being produced by a private publishing house.
Why can't an aide take over the facilitation if I were thinking?
Exactly. And why can't we have larger classes? So what that could possibly lead to, at the same time that people who are saying flipped classrooms are good because it gives more time for the teachers to be involved with the students and the students to have contact on an interactive basis with the teachers, it opens the door to larger classrooms being taught or facilitated by teachers who are nowhere near as qualified as the teachers that we have now.
Well, I'm actually not saying that there's anything wrong with the concept of a flipped classroom. There's nothing wrong with the concept of a student doing their homework. On the other hand, there are implications that haven't been considered. Instead of just freewheeling, running into, oh, flipped classroom, yes, engage, I buy into it, yes, absolutely. Consider the implications, the long-term as well as short-term implications of what a flipped classroom means to an instructor. Like for blended learning courses that I offer. Yeah, flipped classroom is basically what we're doing. You have an online environment that has all the knowledge base and framing the information, your assignments, discussions, emails, all that. And then when we come into the classroom environment, we're focusing upon, so what does this information mean? How do we engage with it within a real world environment? And the higher order thinking skills discussions. So I understand the reasoning behind a flipped classroom as well as the strengths of it. But on the other hand, there are significant implications at different levels that need to be considered. It's a lot of time and effort to develop a worthwhile online instructional environment for someone.
Yes.
I don't care if you're talking about higher
Yes,
ed, K
and
to 12.
The flipped classroom is typical of many innovations
That has been done before. Hey, do your homework. Well done.
that go into school districts without consideration of their unintended consequences.
And it's worthy of a discussion.
Right, and that discussion another time because
That
we've
was
run
what
out
we
of-
were doing, I thought.
we've run out of time for technology and education today. I'm Richard Smith.
And I'm Caroline Crawford. Bye.